Hi everybody. Hello, Ramen. How you doing? Hope you're well today. Alright. I think I'm getting my haircut tomorrow. Needs cutting, I think. So yeah. Hello, Emily. How you doing? Not seen you for a while. Hang on a sec. Why is the chat not showing up on my phone? I have to just leave the watch page on or something. Are you stuck at 55 subs? Alright, well, have you tried going live on your phone? That might help you get some more subs. Um, so you should be able to do that once you get 50 subs. Um, yeah, what is going on? All right. Hope you're all having a good day today, people. I'm good, just been really busy. Oh yeah, what have you been up to? Is it Christmas or something? So there's a lot of people are kind of busy at this time of year. Hello, Elsa, how you doing? I hope you're well. Good morning to you. How's your day going? Hope it's going well. Yeah, I got 19 in here now. Hit the like button, everybody. So yeah, just share this out if you can. That would be really appreciated. So yeah, so I've been kind of like planning on starting up some kind of business. So yeah, hello Star KH11. Yeah, I'll do the push-ups when I want to. Thank you. Um. Anyway, um, come on, guys. We only got one like on here. It says we've got 19 people watching. Come on, guys. What's going on? Let's uh, let's get these likes up. Yeah. Hello, Banku Gaming. How you doing? Yeah, thank you for liking. I got 2 likes now, but I don't know. I have to like my own live or something. Let's try that. I don't usually do that, but I'll just do that. Anyway, thank you, Stark. What's your name? So I want to just start up like doing, obviously looking at doing some coasters and using sea glass to, yeah, put on it. Hello, not Nicola B. I don't have tattoos now. I'm doing fine, thank you, Banku. Hope you're all doing well today. So apparently somebody that I know is going to be on PMQs today at 12 o'clock. So yeah, so I'm going to see if he's actually on there because apparently because his mum is an MP. Um, yeah. So basically, it's mad, isn't it? Small world that we live in. What time is it? It's 10:57 a.m. So it's in about an hour. Apparently it's at 12 p.m. is the PMQs apparently. So yeah, so apparently he's going to be on there and he's going to be answering questions or asking questions or something. I don't know, but he's yeah. So apparently that's going to be on at 12 o'clock. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know what he's going on there for, but it's just apparently his mum's the MP. So I don't know. I think it's all kind of a stage, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's just all theatre. Politics is all a joke. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's like it's all a joke. It's all corporate lobbying and bullshit, basically. People wonder why is it that these politicians don't care or whatever. It's just because when there's money involved, then that's what that's what's prioritized, isn't it? Thank you for the likes, everybody. Um, they'd rather just make more money than to actually care about the people that make the country. So, yeah. Okay, Star K. All right. I got 12 people apparently. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. If anybody's new here, please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm live every day, so yeah. So I'm thinking of doing this sea glass coasters. It's like a mosaic type of thing. That's what I'm looking into doing. So I'm gonna try it out tomorrow. Because someone said they've got some sea glass. So I'm gonna have a go with it and see if I can make something with it, basically. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to go and get some. I'm gonna have to get some grout and some. I'll have to get some. What else? They said they've got glue, so but I'll have to get grout and I'll have to get the things. So yeah, so I want to start selling them possibly. Someone was suggesting like maybe I could take them down to a market and then get a share of the profit. It's a good idea. Maybe it could work, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be selling them. But I'll have to see if there's like people who want to buy them. But yeah, I'm in the UK, Vancouver. Where are you from? So I'll have to see if either anybody on here or anybody on any other platform or whatever, whether they want to buy any or I don't know. It can be difficult, but yeah. Um, the only thing is, if I then give them to somebody else, then it's like, it can take. Well, I mean, if I don't know. It's good if you can put them on somewhere like eBay because apparently they have free listing or something. So you could put up a free listing on eBay. Yeah, I'm from the UK. So yeah, they have a free listing that you can do and you can just like sell stuff. Whereas say like somewhere like Etsy, when they do apparently help you like promote it and stuff, but then they take money from you and stuff. So I was also looking at like Facebook Marketplace, like that could be somewhere to put stuff up on to sell. Um, so maybe I could reach people doing that potentially. But obviously, there's like risks to doing it. But yeah, but it's not that risky because it's like if nobody buys it, then you're not losing anything really. But whereas somewhere like Etsy, it's like it's kind of risks of that if you don't know if people are going to buy it. First of all, you need to know if there's like an audience for it, like a market for it. I mean, and then maybe it's worth putting it on something like that. It's just you have to know that it's going to sell first. Otherwise, it's risky. Because you could be, because you have to pay money before you even sell anything. So yeah, anyway, we've got 10 people in the house. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all well today. But I'm just wondering if anybody would actually want to buy something like that, like a mosaic coaster. So it'd be like you have to think of like putting sea glass on it and then grout in it or something. I think that would look pretty cool, but it'd just be a cool like novelty item thing that it's a bit unique and different. But there's all sorts of stuff that I could try out at some point. But it'd be quite an easy thing to start off with, like not too complicated. Just kind of, it doesn't take long to make. Probably only take like a few minutes. I'm not sure how much I would charge for them, but it's like if you're working for yourself, you probably shouldn't be working for like less than probably £30 an hour, £40 an hour, something like that. I'd say, because especially if there's any kind of skill to it or anything. If it's low skill, then £20 an hour maybe. But if you're working for yourself, then I think that you should probably, you shouldn't be like, like lowballing it too much and like, getting like £15 an hour or something like that, because you could just get you could get a job that pays that sort of thing, because when you like have your own business, you have all the responsibility. So if you're working for somebody else, the only benefit of that really is that you're not responsible for any of that. You're not responsible for taxes. You're not responsible for a lot of it. They deal with all the financial side of things. You just get a paycheck. You don't have to worry about finding customers and things like that. When you're working for somebody else, you just have to do your thing. It's predictable. You just, there is security, I guess, but arguably nowadays, not so much really, because people can just get laid off like instantly without any warning. So, yeah, so there is kind of this myth now that jobs are secure, like 95 jobs secure, but it's actually like with the rise of AI and stuff like that, it's not really secure anymore, is it? So, yeah, but I think that, like I said, 30, £40 at least per hour, I think you should be, charging for like, if you're doing your own thing, and you might only have to do like 20 hours a week or 30 hours a week, maybe something like that. But if you was to do like 40 hours a week, then you could be on over £1,000 a week potentially doing your own business, which would be good. You'd have like some degree of financial freedom. But yeah, because like most people are like, they're having to like sacrifice so much in order to like even just save up a little bit of money. They have to sacrifice, having fun, and they probably have to sacrifice going away places a lot of the time, or at least they would have to really budget everything just to even save a little bit of money. And so that's not financial freedom. That is like you're just stuck in that system. That's what they want. They want you to be just about making enough to survive and be able to consume a bunch of like bullshit. Like they want you to be consuming all the whatever bullshit that you don't need, like the newest iPhone or whatever bullshit. So everyone gets stuck in, even if they are making a decent amount of money, but they're like kind of just buying a bunch of these like really pointless things. Like, because like these new iPhones recently, apparently they've hardly even changed them that much, versus when we went from say like iPhone 3G or whatever to iPhone 4 to 4, 5, 6, whatever. They were pretty big advancements, but nowadays they're not really advancing very much between each of them. So that's the problem really. They're not really evolving as quickly, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is really. But I think the way to go for future is for people to start their own business, become your own entrepreneur. Become your own boss. Now, of course, there's some people out there that obviously there needs to be like what they call these like necessary workers like doctors and nurses and whatever, but there'll always be people that want to do those sort of things, but not everybody has to do those things though. Yeah, there's certain jobs that need to be done, but then people shouldn't have to do them if they don't want to do them. They should be able to do what they want to do. If they want to start their own business, they should be able to do that. Because people get this thing of like, oh, but some people have to work a 9 to 5 though. Well, that somebody isn't you. There's somebody that wants to work these, they want to work the fire services or whatever. Yeah, there's people that need to work these jobs, but that doesn't mean that everybody has to. Everybody should be able to just do what they want to do. And people are getting tired of just feeling like they're just a cog in the machine. So at least if you are like a doctor or something like that, then you're actually doing something of a purpose, like saving lives and stuff. It's a very honorable job. Whereas a lot of people are just like in these offices and just isn't really contributing anything to society. It's just helping corporations increase their profit margins and what have you. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well today. We've got apparently 7 people in the house, so welcoming everybody. It's just helping, big corporations and stuff in a lot of cases. People just working there to increase the profits of the corporation. Now, I'm not saying that employees should be paid the same as the bosses, but things get crazy in it when you've got these like billionaires who, and multi-millionaires who own these companies, and oftentimes they're not the ones that are doing all the work. They're having everybody else do the work for them, and they get paid peanuts for it, and it's not right. That it should be based on like how much work you put into it. No, I'm not saying that like I totally agree with like the labor theory of value, but I think that people who work harder and actually contribute more value to a company should be paid more. That's more meritocracy, but that's what I kind of would value. But it's like that's not what we live in. We don't live in a meritocracy. We don't, because we've got fucking these like nepo babies who are like, they've never done anything to, earn that wealth. They just happen to be born into the right families or something. Hello, brothers. Why are Christians against dudes nailing dudes? Jesus got nailed. Okay, is this a joke or something? What are you saying? I don't know. Whatever. I'm just talking about the state of where things are with this system and all that kind of thing. It's time that things change. I think it's time that people basically like claim their own value. Like it's time to reclaim your value and say, I'm not going to be devalued by some company that doesn't give a fuck. That's what people are doing now. It's like the Gen Z is actually doing the right thing by saying, you know what, fuck this shit. Because productivity has gone up, but yet wages have not. In fact, yeah, wages might have gone up slightly, but the wages have actually gone down relative to inflation. So wages on average have gone down relative to inflation, but yet productivity is actually at an all-time high. Yeah, people might not be working as hard, arguably, because because of how technology's evolved, but they are contributing more to the company due to those advancements. It's allowing people to be more productive. So shouldn't they be getting better wages, if anything, not less? So that's just the thing, right? It's all a scam, this whole system. Hang on a sec. Just don't go anywhere, guys. It's all a scam. I mean, society is a scam pretty much, isn't it? Like, let's face it, society as a whole is a giant Ponzi scheme, pretty much. You could call it. I mean, well, or a pyramid scheme, or whatever. Yeah, it's like it's all designed to keep consolidating wealth to the rich, and then keep you poor. So what they're doing is, like, with inflation and that the corporations have caused, and they're selling you the solution. Because there was this video that I was watching where it talked about this, how, let's say you put your money into the index fund or something, but people are doing that to try and offset inflation or something. But that's because these companies have put the inflation, increasing the inflation. So then they're like, people are then investing in stocks or whatever, stocks and shares, to then, like, it's like problem, reaction, solution kind of thing, isn't it? But it's like, because if you don't put your money into any, like, high interest account or anything, a stock or something, then that money is actually going to lose value over time. Hello, Italo Canadies. So this is what I mean, that the whole thing is a scam. I think I've said scam a lot, but that's exactly what it is. It's just yeah, that a lot of people, especially a lot of the older people, just seem to be very brainwashed into it all, and they never question it. They just accept it as what it is, and they think that that's the only way that things can be. And some people even think that the system is good, and that, oh well, it's actually good, So I remember I was talking to someone a while ago where he thought that the system is ideal and whatever, and it's like, come on. I mean, I suppose things weren't quite as bad back then even, but it's been getting worse generally, like, for a long time. Like, I saw this video, apparently, like, the average like home average age that someone buys a home now for the first time is, like, gone up to about 40, which is crazy. Imagine that. It takes you to get to about 40. I don't know what it is in this country, it might be a bit less, but even if it was, say, 35, right? That means that, because some people are getting 30-year mortgages on their house nowadays, because it's so hard to even pay back because the mortgage rates are so high. So they could be in a mortgage for about 30 fucking years. So by then they'll be fucking 65 by the time that they've paid off their mortgage. 60 fucking 5. Like, there's no guarantee you'll even still be around then. And it's just really just shocking, really, isn't it? But even if you are around, it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's just, then you're just, like, going to be retired at that point, probably. So almost. Hello, S12 Music 68. How you doing? So I'm just talking about the whole kind of thing about how people are not maybe getting a house till they're like 35, 40 years old now. Well, I heard somewhere it's 40 years old, but if that's the case, then they could be as old as 70 by the time that they've paid off their mortgage. 70. That is mad. And the thing is, that's the people who actually buy a house on average. And a lot of people now can't even afford one full stop. Like a lot will never end up, getting a mortgage just because, it's just the thing is, if you get past the age of 40, there's probably no point even fucking bothering because let's say you're 50 years old and you try and get a mortgage. Like you could be as old as 80 by the time you've paid it off. Chances are you might not be here by then. So you could have been paying off a mortgage your whole fucking life and never see anything for that. Yeah, you could be, have equity, but then it's like you could end up, it's just all a joke, isn't it? Really, like people are expected to just put up with this, but a lot of people are just deciding, fuck this country, let's go find somewhere cheaper to live that they can just earn a bit of money online or something and just live an easy life because people are just thinking, it's not even worth it. Like you've got like the average wages are just not being keeping up with inflation. And then they're going to a job that they hate. And the thing is, a lot of people can't even get a job in the first place now. Yeah, London's insane. I mean, unless you're earning like, I've heard in London to live a comfortable life, you're going to have to be earning about 10K a month. It's fucking insane. Because like the average price of just a fucking flat there is over 2K a month. Fuck me. And that's probably just like a fucking bedsit or some shit. If you're in like central London or something, it's like even if you're on the outskirts of London, it can be like, about probably nearly 2,000 a month for a flat. What's DPRK? I don't know, but it's an absolute joke anyway. So even if you're on say 5-6K a month in London, like that's not really great, is it? Because your rent's probably going to be nearly half of that. I'm right on the outskirts of London, and I'm in a two-bed terraced house and £1,750 a month. Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? So you need to have like multiple people sharing a place to be able to do it in London. I think a lot of people are just like living in like sort of yeah. I mean, 2 bed, suppose that's could be worse. It could be like a 1 bed, flat for like 1,750. That's probably what you get more into London, I guess. Like it gets more and more expensive as you get more into the center. That's why a lot of people end up commuting from like outskirts of London to the center of London. Unless you're some really, really rich person, there's no point living in the center of London. I don't know why anyone would actually want to live in the center of London. I would think it's an absolute nightmare. Who the hell's going to want to live somewhere that's just so. I just don't get it. Like, people in these, like, apartments in the center of London, and you look out the window and you're just looking at a bunch of apartments or something. And I'm like, what is. I don't understand it. You're just looking at fucking concrete jungle. Oh, you're learning English in okay. Yeah, 1 bed flat in central would be about the 2K mark. Yeah, if not more. I've heard it's even more. I think that's a 2.5K or something, if I remember, in central London. But I guess it depends. Some of these places can be like bed sits for like 2K a month. Literal, like, it wouldn't be as big as what I've got. Hello, Morley Ryan Sienna. It's for the businessmen that work in Central every day, making 6 or 7 figures a year. Yeah, but I don't understand that thing really of like, I don't really understand that of wanting to even live somewhere like that just to make more money. I don't know. I'm just, I don't know, because what kind of life is that? We're just living in a concrete jungle like that. I don't know. Just doesn't appeal to me at all. Living in some flat that's, even if you are on like, 6 or 7 figures, I'd rather go live somewhere that, you know, that's cheaper, that's out in the country somewhere, and be on, say, 50K a year or something. I'd rather do that, just because I'd rather live somewhere actually nice and somewhere be around a nice environment, rather than just be somewhere really toxic like a city that's probably got bad air, like it's probably got bad air quality. It's probably got, it's probably not even got a good view on it. Like you're just looking out at a bunch of buildings in the distance. Yeah, I'm the same, man. Yeah. But, that's the thing is this whole hustle culture, But then they end up with lifestyle inflation where they then have to move to a more expensive place to then try and, to live that lifestyle. Because I've heard that in America, like people are on say like $100,000 plus per year, and most of them are actually living paycheck to paycheck. And I think it's probably similar for this country. If say you're on even say 70 or 80,000 pounds per year, that you are probably still living paycheck to paycheck in a lot of cases, where you're say like, especially if you're in these cities, like if you're living in like rural areas, you can do pretty well on 40, 50K a year. Because oftentimes you can get like a nice country house for about 200, 300K, and it's pretty big. In fact, you could get somewhere that's like 3 to 4 bedrooms, that's in the country. But obviously it's not very close to anything, but it's probably the best thing to do is to like have some kind of remote business in that case, so that you can just leverage that. So yeah, what's not true? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you in England? All right. Well, it depends on where you live, and yeah, the prices are different everywhere, and but if you're somewhere where rent is like 2K a month or something, then you're probably going to have to share the place with somebody. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, that's just, like I said, lifestyle inflation. Where like, yeah, they might be earning more money, but then they're renting somewhere more expensive. They're, they're what they call luxury poverty, basically. Like they might be renting a car as well. Like, well, not renting it, but like they're financing a car at £1,000 a month. So let's say they're renting a place at 2K a month or more. So renting a car for whatever, financing a car for £1,000 a month, and then a whole bunch of other things. So it probably comes to like £3,000-4,000 a month on all that stuff, before they've got food and other bills to pay. So you're looking at somewhere around probably 5 to 6K a month, as like in some cases on necessary bills in some of these places. So yeah, just like most of the people that are on 70K a year are probably the people that live in more expensive areas. Like if you're actually on 70K a year and you're in a relatively cheap area, you can be living a pretty good life. Even 50K, like I said, it's all relative to the area, but I think there was some like survey done on this, like about Americans on 6 figures a year living paycheck to paycheck. I think they were saying something like 70% of them were. But obviously, it depends, like different how good you are with your money and stuff like that. But someone could say, be like, yeah, £1,000 plus for sometimes on a car, and then 2,000 on a property, let's say, and then some are paying even more than that, and then they've got a bunch of taxes to pay. So if you're on 70k a year, you probably have how much of that you have to pay in tax. That's the thing, right? If they didn't have barely any tax to pay on that, then yeah, it would be better. But let's say you're 70k, that what tax bracket that's in, and you're looking at probably about 30% tax in total. I think even for like someone who's on a very low income, there's like about 20% tax, because when you factor in all the different taxes and stuff, but it goes up as you get more money. So then they might be looking at 20,000 cut off that pretty much. So they might actually only take home about 50k. So yeah, so they might be on 70k, but they might only take home 50k. So you can see where the problem is here, that you're already shaving off like a percentage of the money before you even get that money. Then you've got to pay for all these necessary bills. So if, say, someone's got, let's be generous and say, they're earning that much money and they're on, say, maybe their home cost 1,000, and then they've got maybe 500 a month on a car. That's still 1,500 a month. So that's before any other bills. What other bills have we got? So petrol. They're probably spending, depending on where they're going, they might have to pay a bunch on that. And in some cases, they might be using public transport, which is in some cases, it might even cost them £50, £100 a week. So that, you're Korean, all right. So they're on 70k a year, but that's knocked down to 50 when you deduct taxes from that. Well, that's where you live, though, isn't it? So that's the thing. You live in quite a cheap area. So you're quite lucky in that regard. But let's say, someone, in most cases, in a lot of these jobs, are going to have a car. So 1,000 plus 1,000, so that's 1,500. So that's already like 18k per year that we've got up to at this point. And then we've got, what else? If they've got a family, then that's going to add even more to it. So, a lot of people are going to have families to have to pay for. If you're earning that much money, then unless, like, you're in a cheap area, well, I think where you live, it's probably quite cheap, I'm guessing. So, but let's say, so let's say 1,000 plus 500, and then, because you're only going to be able to, so 50k a year, that's about 4k per month of actual, like, you know what I mean? So almost halfway to that already. So then, so yeah, 1,500 plus food. So that might cost you like a few £100 a month. And then if you've got a family, then you have to pay even more for that. You've got all these different bills. You have to pay for all the, equipment and different things. And suddenly now you're looking at probably 3K a month. Hello, Banku Gaming. So it'd be interesting to see what the statistics are on this in terms of what percentage of Brett earning 70K a year, because that's probably like what $100,000 in America would be. So guessing what percentage of Brits earning, let's actually say 100K per year are living paycheck to paycheck. Right, so let's see. So it says here around 26% of people in the UK earning a six-figure salary, £100,000 or more per year, report living paycheck to paycheck. Now you could argue that, well, it's self-reported, so it's not accurate, but why would they say that they are if they're not, sort of thing? But let's say 70K, what I was saying before. 49%. So that's nearly half of people earning that much, apparently. Yeah. So you're saying they would have savings, but like how much though? But the thing is, everybody has to have some kind of savings, like emergency fund or something, because things can happen. Unforeseen circumstances can happen. So having some kind of savings is kind of like a necessity. It's not a luxury. So yeah, it's like you would have savings as a buffer because then something random can happen and then puff and it's gone. Like it could be like yeah, some bills happens or whatever, or some kind of damage happens and you have to pull out quite a lot of money in one go. Yeah. I mean, well, I think of it as like that they're in terms of like minimal savings, I guess, would still count because it means more in terms of like you're living without being able to really kind of you don't know, like there's no guaranteed like kind of say like you're not guaranteed to save money and like accumulate savings or something. I don't know. I guess like what do we actually mean by living paycheck to paycheck? Because I always think of it more as in like people just generally living without really living, if you will, like as in they're just surviving. They're just kind of, they're just getting by. But I don't know. I guess it's kind of like semantics or something. So, but the point is that for a lot of people, like nearly half of the people in the UK, 70K a year isn't even cutting it anymore. Like that's the thing. Like it could be lifestyle inflation. You could argue some of it isn't necessary. Like maybe they don't need to buy a super expensive car or something. But even some like cheaper cars are still kind of expensive. But yeah, yeah, that's kind of like what I'm thinking. Yeah, that by the time they've like got to the next like paycheck, they've already blown all their money pretty much. But you could say, well, if they were able to save anything at all, then. But you could say that in some of those cases they could have if they prioritize saving more. But But why should people have to like sacrifice every little bit of fun that they have just to be able to save money? I don't know. Like that's, people's lives are already hard enough before telling them, oh, you should just, sacrifice every bit of fun. So they're expected to live miserable lives for several years before they can actually just have a decent amount of savings. But yeah, I don't know. And yeah, some people are gonna, be able to have loads of money left over and for certain, different, fun things, and but it's the tax, a lot of it, that's screwing people over, because that's basically gotten rid of the middle class. Because nowadays the middle class isn't really much better off than the working class. Because, like I said, if you're on something like 70k a year, let's have a look and see what the taxes are on that. Let's see if, say, you're on 70k a year, what are the taxes? How much tax on 70k salary, right? So so it says here you expect to pay approximately 50,000 in income tax and 3,400 in national insurance. A total deduction of 18,842.60. Well, it doesn't mention anything about council tax. Why doesn't it say anything about council tax? Why isn't it put council tax in there? That's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, taxes make it crazy to be a smoker, especially. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you're also a drinker as well, people drinking a lot of booze. That's one of the reasons I think why a lot of people are just not doing it anymore, or just not doing it as much, because they simply can't afford it. Like, who can afford to even go out and spend tons of money at the weekends, and sometimes spending £100 plus? Who the fuck can afford to do that shit? Unless you're like loaded or something. And if you're loaded, you're probably not going to be wasting your money on that shit, because you just see it as all like a bad investment. So yeah, because if you're looking at trying to, you see how all that money that you could have saved to then invest it and just keep on like reinvesting and make tons more from that. So if you're actually well off, you're probably going to just, why would you want to be blowing it? Yeah. But like, yeah, every time I do it on a budget, yeah. But apparently a lot of people are just like doing it in debt, basically. And because you think to yourself, how is it that all these people can still afford to go to concerts and festivals and different things like that? Probably because they're getting themselves into debt in a lot of cases. And that's another thing as well. Like, say if someone's on 70k a year, then they might also have debt to pay off as well, because they might have loans to pay. Like, especially if they've got student debt or something. But I guess they could have made better decisions than to do that, a lot of them, to be fair. But yeah, so out of 70k, you're only actually getting about 50k. And then, like, how much is the rent and all that? Because most jobs in like small towns, you're probably going to be lucky to get 40k doing that. Which of that you're probably only getting about 30k. So yeah, it's just when they talk about how much you're getting paid at a job, it should all be very like transparent and be like, because it might sound good that a job will pay you six figures, 100K a year, but the reality is you might only be getting 70 to 80K of that because you're in that higher tax bracket. And that is going to make a massive difference in terms of your disposable income. It's all a sham, isn't it? It's all a. But yeah, so apparently somebody that I know is going to be on PMQs shortly. So what time are we on now? 11:44. So I'm going to wait and see if he's going to be on there because I'll tell you guys if he's on there because I know this guy, right? His mum is an MP. So yeah, but I don't know. I don't have any faith in politics. So yeah, like there's literally like a fucking picture of her with Keir Starmer. It's like, oh god, it's so cringe. That guy's a fucking piece of crap, and just yeah. Ugh. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't go to uni, so no student debt, thankfully. Yeah, of course, like it can be good for certain people. It's important if, say, you want to become a doctor or something like that. But how many people go there and then they don't end up getting a job that, in that particular field? It's a risk, isn't it? It's a huge risk. Because, it depends on, like how much debt you get in, and yeah, it's not, I've heard that, I think they pay back something like a 10% per month or whatever it is, but on average, something like that. But again, it's like it's another deduction of their wages. When you take into account that they're already paying tax, they already like don't have that much disposable income, and then they have even more of it taken. Like, there's only certain people that benefit in this system, and that's these elite classes of people who they own all the corporations. They lobby the government. So how can we really trust in a system where corporations are able to bribe politicians? Because they're all going to have a price, even if they say that they're for the working class. But the government that we have right now clearly isn't for the working class. What has actually changed for the better since they've got in? Absolutely nothing. Like, it doesn't matter who gets in. Even when Tony Blair was in, like, there was problems then. Like, there was all this just really like irresponsible spending of public money, and then that leads to um, more and more debt, and then it got sort of basically the Tories then said, "Oh, we need to do austerity and basically do all these cutbacks and stuff." To me, it's all a massive scam. So you have one party will just like completely destroy the economy, and then the other side will come up with the solution, which is to just make all these cutbacks to then, instead of taking any kind of responsibility for it. And yeah, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's not good, is it? And they try to gaslight people. And they try to act as though they were just kind of, it was just the best thing that I thought of at the time, and we made a mistake and all this. Like, they knew what they were doing, I think. I don't really buy that it's incompetence. I mean, yeah, sometimes things can be incompetence, but then I don't really buy that they don't know what they're doing. I don't know what you guys think, but it's like they can just say, like, for example, with the whole, the coof thing, saying, "Oh well, it's just we were just following the science." Bullshit. On the politics side of things, I really do just stay detached. I know it's not great, but it always feels like picking the lesser two idiots when election day comes around. Yeah, but then it's like, even if one side seems like less of an idiot, but then they come in and then just completely destroy everything. So sometimes it's the one that seems like they might be the better option, but then when it comes to actually, like, voting them in, then they really show their true colors. So even when things seem promising, like, people might have thought, oh well, maybe Keir Starmer could be all right. He's a bit more, he seems a bit more kind of balanced. He's not, he's not too much of a, he's not like a Tory or anything, but he's also not too, he's not like a communist either. That's probably what they were thinking. Is like, oh well, he's, more balanced at things, but then they vote him in, and then he's just a complete wanker. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a joke, isn't it? How do you know a politician is lying? Yeah, and you know this one. How do you know a politician is lying? I said, how do you know a politician is lying? Go on, answer this one. How do you know a politician is lying? Yeah, so how do you know a politician is lying? Their lips are moving. Yeah. You know right away they're lying. Because the thing is, even if they do tell the truth, they only tell the truth when it benefits them. They're only honest when it benefits them. Like, so, yeah, there just is no way to know, and that is part of the issue. I guess we need a system to hold them accountable for not coming through with their promises. Yeah, I just don't see that really happening. I think things are too far gone with this system, because a lot of people talk about reform and how we need to reform the system. But I think the whole system is fucked. Because we're allowing corporations to dictate policy now. That's what's really, and it's not just corporations, it's like, it's different things like NGOs and different organizations to push through certain agendas, whether it's green bullshit or whether it's some kind of, whatever. Like, want the system will stay the same because it works for those in power. Yeah, well, that's the thing of, like, the only way that things are ever going to change is that something radical needs to happen. like we need to like decentralize things more, and because that way we don't have lobbying and corporate control. Because essentially the corporations have kind of become like the state itself, because they're actually the ones dictating things. Hello, Squirrel. How you doing? Hope you're well. Oh yeah. I heard something about like, I don't know how true it is, but like the Google like had something to do with like the military or something. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's some kind of like there was this thing called DARPA or something, and yeah, but basically like all these big companies are just like, yeah, like they've got so much power. Yeah, the internet was a military thing, so but then I went and typed it in and said about Google and was DARPA or something, and like, and it denied it basically of like having any like involvement at the start of it. But like that may just be like what they want us to think. They're not gonna want us to think that it has anything to do with the state or anything like that. Yeah, isn't like the friggin' deep web like owned by the military or some shit? God knows what they're doing on there, but yeah. Yeah, so apparently someone that I know is going to be on PMQs, and it's like, so I'm kind of just waiting for that, because apparently it's starting at 12. So I'm going to see if I can see him on there, because interesting to see him on fucking PMQs. It's like, what the fuck? Because apparently his mum's as a MP. Google's creation, Page and Brin's work at Stanford was partially funded by NSF/DARPA Digital Libraries grant in the mid-90s, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to see about like, let's go to live. I would assume it's going to be shown live or something. Yeah, it's on, yeah, Daily Express. So it's just gonna play the live and see if I can see him. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Like, yeah. Apparently he's on at 12 o'clock or something, so yeah. Yeah, yeah. Are they already started or something? I don't know, but there's already like let me see if I can spot him. Trying to see if I can. It's all a charade, isn't it? It's all a fucking joke. Or is this like old stuff? I don't know. Like, is this actually live or something? There's quite a few people in there, so might be hard to spot him. I don't know. But apparently, he's having a. I can't remember if he's doing some kind of speech or something, but I'm gonna wait on here and see like see if I can see him like. What's this coup crisis erupts? What's going on? I don't know. I don't even pay attention to like wars and shit like that, because I'm like, what can I do about any of that, really? I just think it's all a bit of a distraction. I don't know. It's like, because what can any of us do about any of that, really? Same as me with the politics. What you mean? Yeah, yeah, no, but it's just we'd have to have like everybody all come together. It would require some radical shit. I don't vote or anything because I just don't have any faith in any of them. Not be mentioned on any mainstream. What's that? You know about the DARPA thing or something? Or well, it's like BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street, and they don't get mentioned really much on mainstream media, do they? Like, why isn't this being talked about more? That these fucking, whatever you call it, conglomerates or whatever, that are like trying to take over and buy up fucking houses and shit, Because this is quite a big issue. You won't hear any of them fucking talking about it at Parliament, will you? That this is actually like a threat to the fucking, to home ownership and shit. Like, they should be blocking them from fucking buying it because they shouldn't be able to fucking do what they're doing, like buying houses well above fucking market rate. But that's never going to get fucking mentioned, is it? They'll never get that mention any fucking real issues, will they? It's all fucking distractions. It's all a joke. Yeah, I can't see him in the room, but it's pretty packed. Yeah, obviously with it being PMQs today, it's someone have to live here for 3 years before they can buy. Yeah, you're talking about like to stop the corporations from just. Yeah, that might be an idea because if you've got like offshore, like fucking like it's some American company or some shit, but then some British company could still do that though. I don't know. So you could have some British company still be able to buy it with some corporate power or something. Hello, Spooky. How you doing? So apparently somebody that I know is on PMQs today. So I'm just looking at see if I can spot him because his mum's an MP. I bet you probably get some conspiracy theorists now saying that, oh, I'm connected to it all or something. It's like, no. Yeah, it's a small world that we live in, but yeah. Yeah, have an overseas buyer buy a British company and work through them already. What you mean? Yeah, and about BlackRock or something. I mean, that isn't that like an American company or something? I don't know, but I'm just being pragmatic and like, yeah, not too bad. Thank you, Spooky. Yeah, I just can't see if I can see him, but yeah, his mum's an MP, so apparently they're at the PMQs today. BlackRock has shares and everything, yeah. Vanguard I've heard have a lot of shares as well, but I think it's mainly BlackRock that's the problem because they literally like are trying to make it to like where you'll own nothing and be happy. Well, it's going back to the whole thing of like house prices and stuff and people struggling to get on the property ladder and all that. It's just mental, isn't it? It's like, but yeah, you'll never hear any of them talk about this though. Yeah, they're all just like laughing and they're just kind of, they're supposed to be like, talking about serious like issues and like that they're going to affect, the people, right? But they're all just like treating it as though it's like a school playground. It's absolutely pathetic. A lot of them are just a bunch of out of touch fucking boomers who are like have absolutely no idea about how the everyday person lives. They say Black Rock is the center of everything. Mount Meru was also called Black Rock. Oh, really? Oh, goodness. Anyway, let's just see. Is there, yeah, is it on there then? Something? I don't know, but yeah, I'm guessing it started now, so 12 o'clock. Huh. I don't know. It's yeah. Okay, take care, Squirrel. Yeah, who's still in here then? I'm just trying to see if I can spot him. I can't see him yet, but just waiting to see if he goes on it. Yeah, see if he see if I see him on the live. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with this acute crisis thing or whatever. Still here for a bit. Okay. So what are you up to then? Thank you for the 11 likes, everybody. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Is everybody okay? I'll come in here, everybody. Just chilling at the moment. Got some free time today, so I'm about to be playing some video games with a buddy in a little bit. Oh, cool. Are you gonna practice your music then, or something? Have you tried putting out any content yet, or something, or? Yeah. So yeah. So Scarborough and Whitby says like she's politician. It says she's been a member of parliament since 2024. So yeah. Been neglecting guitar a bit lately, but I'm wanting to get to it and do something. Yeah, I'm looking at doing some. I want to start selling coasters. I'm up into like yeah, it's like try and sell coasters with like sea glass in them. So I'm gonna try that tomorrow, I think, because someone's got some and I can have a go with it. Yeah, so I want to have a go with that. I'm seeing if I can find a picture with her son in it or something. But I don't know if like there's any up on there. But yeah, she's the MP for Scarborough and Whitby or something. All right. Yeah. Hope you're all having a good day today, people. there'll be like people in the live stream just completely like destroying them, innit? What they're saying in the in the comment section. Deflection as always. Starmer way out of his depth. They're all just basically destroying him. Someone put Corbyn for PM. To be fair, I think he'd probably be better than the tosser that's in right now. As someone who's been told, well, considering your age and your existing illness, that, well, I don't know what they're on about there, but just looking at the comments, his voice makes me feel sick. Yeah, he's got this kind of like nasally voice, hasn't he? There's literally like nothing about the guy that's redeemable, is there? 30 billion in debt since he became PM and still rising. Yeah, I know, it's mad, isn't it? Don't offend clowns like that. They bring children joy and are great for Halloween. What the hell? As he mentioned, the BBC. Oh yeah, the BBC thing. That's the whole Tim Davie thing or whatever. It's there's always something, isn't there? There's always some kind of event happening, isn't there? Like I wouldn't pay a penny to watch this pantomime, but Starmer. Phew, yeah, like yeah. I'm not gonna read that out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Someone put job centres offer the illusion of support. Yeah, I mean, I've heard like job centres are a bit of a waste, really. Toys and Labour have the same masters, yeah. That nasally, robotic, and monotonous voice makes me heave. I've been told that I have a monotonous voice, but I don't think my voice sounds as bad as Keir Starmer, though. Is anybody still there? I just want to see if this guy actually like is on there. Starmer is spineless and gutless, and Starmer is spineless, gutless, and brainless. Yeah. Um. What's this? It's just a. Someone put Starmer talks like he has a nose full of dried bogies. Oh God. Some of these comments are like savage. Hello, Moose. How you doing? I'm just looking at some of the comments on the PMQs thing. Just absolutely roasting Keir Starmer. Labour broke the economy. I mean, they've all broke the economy pretty much, haven't they? It's all a pantomime, isn't it? Rent up, cost of living up, tax up. Yeah, that's happening all the time, pretty much. It doesn't matter who gets in. It's all the same. If you look at like national debt, whatever, nobody cares. Maybe just buy. Is anybody else still in there? Maybe I'll restart the live or something because it's just dead. Yeah, I'm gonna start up a new one, guys.